Hi, Achim here from InnerSpace Explorers. Today I want to talk about emergency oxygen that you should carry when you go for a dive. Reason is I just talked to a friend of mine. Actually, I just got out of the water. He got out of the water just somewhere else, and we just had a brief phone call. And he said, funny enough, there was some issue, nothing serious, but somebody was running around and asking everybody, do you have oxygen? Do you have oxygen? We need oxygen. And I experienced that a couple of times as well, and I simply can't understand it. I mean, you see people with 5 stages and a scooter and a rebreather, so with serious amounts of money invested in dive gear, and when you ask them for the emergency oxygen, it's like, oh yeah, that suitcase is so expensive, that box, and I don't want that. And yeah, we have oxygen stages with us, and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, as it drives me mad, I just wanted to take the opportunity and talk a little bit about that, what we are doing, what we recommend, etc. So generally speaking, this is about your own safety. I mean, not bringing one is simply stupid, and it's also a lack of responsibility towards your family, the people that are diving with you, and the other people in the community. So if you have the money to be active in that sport, especially when it comes to technical diving, the price for the oxygen, emergency oxygen system shouldn't be an issue. And if it is, you should probably think twice what you buy first. That new rebreather, that new scooter, that brand new light, or if you probably invest something in your emergency safety equipment, which means you bring some oxygen. It's the same thing, like I can't understand somebody stepping on a dive boat that you do not operate yourself. And the first question should always be, can you show me your emergency, your life-saving equipment, which means the lifeboats, the fire extinguisher, and the emergency oxygen. And I so often see people just go on boats and just hope and rely that in case the shit hits the fan, somebody will be there with functional equipment and save them. So for me, it's always the first step to make sure these things are there in working order and there's somebody trained on how to use them. So that's basics. And the reason this has not been brought up earlier on this channel is because I think it's so mandatory and it's so second nature to me that I can't believe somebody's not doing it. And yeah, seeing this all the time and repetitively, and now also having heard about it from somebody else made me think about it, and I thought it's probably worth making a video about it. So getting back to that oxygen, to that safety oxygen equipment or emergency oxygen equipment, I'll show you quickly what I do. And I just flip the camera for that. So what I have always in the car, no matter where I go or when I go on my boat, I also have one of these. Actually, I have it permanently on the boat, so I have a second one. That's an old military Draeger. That's inhalable oxygen written there. And you can actually buy these on eBay or other online sources. Relatively cheap, super sturdy metal box. And it has a 5-liter oxygen container, which I like a lot because it's a bit more oxygen than what you have in these small, like the Vinol system or whatever. So don't get me wrong, it's not about the brand. I don't care what you buy, if it's Vinol or whatever. Or I think Dan has a system itself. That's not the point. So obviously you need to make sure that the tank has a current hydro and meets the safety regulations and legal regulations in your country. And then you have these dividers or whatever you want to call it. So I have always one of these sets ready. Just installed that here so you can see it. So it's a demand. It's not a demand valve. It's a continuous flow system. So you have the mask and you have that that oxygen bag. And the cool thing is that you can actually add 4 of these at the same time. So theoretically, you could actually treat 4 people at the same time. So that's probably not what you want to do, but if you dive long enough, you've seen these accidents where probably 2 people need oxygen because one of them had an issue and came up, and the second one followed or something like that, and you want to treat 2 people. So it's very easy with this system because that's prepared for it. So there's some more masks. They're completely packed, and there's obviously some more stuff that we have in here. which is not the point of this video, but generally this is prepared for more. That's important that this is all current and up to date, obviously. So I'll quickly show you how that works. Let me just make that a little bit bigger here. All right, so I'll just quickly show you how that works. So obviously you have the valve here. You open the oxygen bottle, and then you see this has almost 200 bars. Here you adjust the flow, and here you have the 4 sections where you can feed the hose. So this one is attached. So you open that, and you can probably hear the oxygen flow, and here you can control the flow. You can see that just turned it down to 9, 7, 6 liters per minute or up. And then you have the flow here, and this would be the back. So yeah, with one hand, that's a little bit of a pain in the butt. So, but now you have the oxygen mask on. There you can see the filter inside, and this goes over the head, and then you can make somebody breathe oxygen and adjust that according to the needs. So I'll just stop that so we don't waste precious oxygen here. Empty the system. So this is empty now. This is closed. This is closed. And then we're good to go. So that's just one example. So here I am. So that was just one example of what I use, and I'm super happy with that over the years. I actually had to use it a couple of times, not because I had issues, but there were people somewhere and they needed help, and everybody was always very happy that we had it, and I was always wondering why they didn't. So yeah, if you watch this video and you have one, good, fine, good to hear. If you don't have one, you should get one. I'm not putting any links or anything in the description because I don't want to basically recommend anything in particular. So the box I just showed you is nothing you can buy brand new. So yeah, from my side, it really doesn't matter. But the important thing is that you have one. One thing I want to mention is an argument that I hear a lot is, yeah, we have oxygen stages and regulators with us. That's great, but it's not the same thing because it's a demand valve. So if somebody's unconscious, it's really hard to give them oxygen with a regulator where you actually have to actively breathe from, and it doesn't really seal. So you don't want to push a scuba regulator into the mouth of an unconscious person. And if you just hold it in front and kind of press the purge button, it's not the same thing as the mask that I just showed you. And you want to be able to deliver oxygen to somebody that's not conscious and cannot handle the regulator by himself or by herself. So the stage is a bad excuse. It's great you have them, use them in the water, but they're not safety equipment in case the shit hits the fan. Obviously, if somebody comes out and has, I have a little bit of pain in my joints and I probably need some oxygen, he can sit down and breathe from a regulator, but it's not the same thing. And it's not the reason you carry emergency oxygen. All right, I hope that helps. If you have questions, comments, please put them in the comment section. I'm super happy and interested to see what you guys are using and what you have with you when you go diving. And other than that, stay safe. Hope you never need that oxygen. And I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.